You can draw perfect bubbles and still end up with fake looking foam. That's because soap foam isn't about dots, it's about how light sits on a soft surface. In this video, you'll learn how to build foam properly on cheeks, nose and chin so it feels natural, wet and believable. And by the end of the video, I will share how to use your tools in the right way for this texture. So let's get started. Before you touch highlights or start placing dots, you need to understand one thing clearly. Soap foam is not one texture, and it should never be treated the same everywhere on the face. On wide areas like the cheeks, foam spreads and softens. On tight rounded areas like the nose, it compresses and reflects more light. And on the chin, gravity makes it denser and heavier. Once you adjust your process based on the surface underneath, the foam starts making sense instead of feeling random. On the cheeks, your first job is not bubbles. It's the base around the foam texture on the skin. You start by adding a soft shadow base using graphite powder with a dry brush. Keeping your pressure low and try to use circular motion so the surface stays smooth. This base is important because foam never sits on pure white skin. It always has subtle shadow along it. And without that shadow, highlights will look pasted on instead of sitting naturally. Now you begin suggesting the foam by lightly darkening a few bubbles using a 3B pencil, keeping the angle low so the marks stay soft instead of sharp. You're not outlining circles here, you're gently pressing in a few areas to create depth. After that, you add scattered dots of different sizes using the same pencil, changing pressure constantly so some dots stay darker and others remain very soft. This variation is important because real foam never has equal bubbles or equal depth. Try not to draw every bubble you see in the reference. Instead, you're letting the viewer's eye connect the information. A few darker bubbles, a few softer ones, and enough empty space in between does more work than filling everything. At this stage, you lightly go over some of the darker dots with a small blending stump, using tiny circular motions just to soften the edges. The goal is not to erase the texture but to melt the graphite slightly so the bubbles feel round and sit into the skin instead of looking stamped on top. If any area starts to feel too heavy, you can lightly dab a kneaded eraser to lift graphite and soften the surface. And when you need cleaner, more controlled highlights inside the foam, that's where a mono zero eraser comes in. And make sure to keep the pressure light so the texture stays delicate. On the cheeks, foam should always feel light, broken and slightly floating, almost like it's resting on the skin instead of being carved into it. Keeping edges soft and values gentle is what makes the foam sit naturally on the face, instead of looking pasted on. Once that soft structure is there, you can add a few brighter highlights with the electric eraser, only where the light is actually hitting. These are just small pops of shine, not something you spread everywhere. A few well-placed bright dots will always look more realistic than a lot of random ones. To finish it off, you can top a couple of the cleanest highlights with a jelly roll pen. Only do this on areas that are clean and free from graphite underneath. If there's graphite below, the gel will mix with it and turn muddy after you spray fixative. When you save it for clean paper, those final highlights stay crisp and give the foam that fresh, wet sparkle. If you want to watch the full step-by-step tutorial of this drawing, you can access it for free on our Academy site. When you move to the nose, the approach changes completely. This area is smaller, rounder and hit directly by light. So the foam here needs a stronger base and tighter structure. You again start with graphite powder, but this time you build slightly more depth along the sides of the nose using graphite pencil and blend carefully using circular motions. Blending here is crucial because patchy bases on the nose instantly kill realism. Once the base is smooth, you start forming bubbles using erasers instead of pencils. Highlights on the nose are layered. You begin soft, then sharper, and only at the end do you introduce bright electric eraser dots to create that wet shine. For denser foam, lift graphite with a perfection eraser to create soft, hollow shapes. Then refine some of them with a mono zero and electric erasers for sharper edges. If highlights don't pop here, the fix is almost never adding more white. It's usually darkening the base slightly, so the contrast does the work. Once that contrast is in place, you can add small dense dots with the electric eraser to suggest tiny water droplets. These sit right on the brightest areas and instantly make the surface feel wet instead of chalky. Using your tools correctly is very important in drawing. Each eraser has a role, and knowing when to switch is what keeps the texture realistic. You use the perfection eraser for soft lifted highlights and smooth gradients, then mono zero eraser for controlled dots and sharper bubble edges, and reserve the electric eraser only for the brightest accents where light is strongest. If everything becomes extra white, the foam loses depth and starts looking flat. So always keep in mind that bright highlights should behave like accents, not fillers. All the reference images you need, including the grid and outline versions, are available on our Academy site to make your drawing process smoother and more structured. On the chin, foam behaves differently again. Gravity pulls it downward, so the texture becomes heavier and more packed. Begin by lightly planning the foam shape using a mono zero eraser, keeping strokes soft and adjustable. Then soften that plan with a brush so nothing feels stiff. After that, you can go back over the base texture we have just mapped with an electric eraser to brighten it slightly. And to break that smooth spiral into something more organic, add a few small dots here. It will shift the surface from looking blended to looking foamy, which is exactly what you want at this stage. Now you can build density by clustering dots closer together near the top and gradually spacing them as you move down. This spacing shift creates weight and flow without needing outlines. If the chin looks too dark, you can lift graphite using a kneaded eraser with very light pressure, and always use dabbing motions. Don't drag it, as the eraser can stick to the paper, making it patchy. Here are a few things you should always keep in mind while drawing soapy texture. If your dots start repeating in size or spacing, the foam instantly feels artificial. Natural foam is irregular, and slight imperfections actually help sell realism. Trusting randomness here works better than trying to be precise. Blending foam is about control, not speed. Blend just enough to soften edges while keeping the texture visible. If you blend too much, the foam melts into one tone. If you don't blend enough, it looks chalky. Think of blending as melting the surface slightly, not erasing the detail. Your brightest highlights always come last. They sit only on clean paper and only where light hits directly. A few well-placed bright dots will always look more realistic than many rushed ones scattered everywhere. Once you stop thinking about drawing bubbles and start thinking about how light reacts to foam, everything changes. Realistic foam isn't about detail. It's about contrast, softness, and restraint. When you allow some areas to stay quiet and let others shine, the foam naturally starts to feel wet and believable. If this helped you, let me know in the comments. Also, if you are an absolute beginner and want to learn drawing from scratch, you can join our drawing course on AHR Studios Academy. It is now trusted by 20,000 students across 165 countries, and you can enroll today with 90% off. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.